So there I am, 6:30 in the morning, standing at the room of the hot yoga studio and no instructor inside. So what do you do when even you had good intentions, you had good plans, you showed up and something unexpected happens that tries to derail you from your good workout plan? What did I do?
Hey Siri, set a timer for 2 minutes.
On the subject of exercise, I get people asking me what counts as one exercise, what counts as two exercises. So on the Bombshell track of 8 Beautiful, there's 2 exercise sessions per day. On the balance track, there's one 25 to 60-minute exercise session. Can be longer than 60 if you so desire. I'm not going to limit you, but that at least gives you an idea that, like, hey, maybe I'll do an hour-long workout. Okay, so balance track is that. In lieu of the second workout, balance track does 1 minute of deep breathing as an intentional set aside to oxygenate, to pause for yourself again later that day. So the Bombshell track gals are like, can I do a half an hour of this and then turn right around 1 minute later and do another half hour and count that as my 2 workouts? Or is that one workout? What constitutes 2 different workouts? So that's a really great question. And I like to say, as a rule of thumb, a different setting, a different format, and ideally, I'm going to say 2 hours of space between the workout is ideal. Because why are we doing it? First of all, we're wanting to experiment with different kinds of movement, expose the body to different kinds of exercise. You don't know what you'll love until you've tried it the first time, right? And then also the second reason to do it is to kick your metabolism up again later in the day when maybe your heart rate is slowed down, your metabolism is slowed down. And then if you're doing a workout in the morning and then later in the afternoon or evening, you come back and you stimulate those muscles again, you get the circulation going again. This just sends more consistent, intense signals to your body that, hey, we're doing a change, we're active, let's lean you down so you use less energy running through the forest if that's what we're going to be doing, right? So that's just your cave girl brain that we're trying to communicate in a language that the body understands. And so ideally, at least one workout is outside. That's great. If not, if the weather doesn't allow, if safety doesn't allow, if the time of day doesn't allow, we're not going to stress. We're the kind of girl that figures stuff out and that stays consistent. So while it's highly desirable to go out into nature and it's good for fresh air, your chemicals, your mood, your vitamin D, all those things, that's ideal. If ideal doesn't happen for you today, still move your body, right? Get that workout. And ideal is also spreading your workouts. If you're going to do 2 a day, spreading them out throughout the day. If ideal doesn't happen for you, that's okay. You're going to still define for you what is the definition of success for you today. If you want to stick by a hard and fast rule, which I would encourage you to find some beauty in the gray space between black and white, instead of saying it's on or it's off. The rule is 2 hours. If I did one workout and an hour and a half later, I did a totally different workout, it doesn't count. Some people might opt for that. I don't know what your standards are. What happened to me this morning is I didn't sleep well. So I just woke up early in the morning in the 4 o'clock hour. I tossed and turned. I tried to get back to sleep. I couldn't get back to sleep. About 5:30, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even tired. Let me just go to the gym. I'll just get dressed and go get a workout. And since hot yoga wasn't going to start until 6:30, I said, you know what? From 5:45 to 6:15, I'm going to do an independent, like a kettlebell weight style workout. And then I'm at the gym. Hot yoga is a totally different workout than kettlebell. So even though they're only minutes apart, I'm going to count one workout for kettlebell and a different workout for hot yoga, even though they're within the same hour. Does that count? I wouldn't necessarily do it every day. Today, I'm going to feel good and judge, like, how do you feel? Are you trying to let yourself off easy? Are you trying to rationalize, or does it actually work and feel good and right for today? So for me today, knowing that it's Friday and my schedule is packed in a work day that I have, once I get myself into work mode, I'll be going strong till 6 p.m. I have plans with friends this evening at 6 p.m. So it would be actually challenging to get a second workout later in the day today. I'm going up to an expo, a fitness expo. I'm doing some other things. Like, I just really have a super stacked day. So for today, I'm going to call it good that I did a kettlebell workout and a hot yoga style stretch workout, independent. And I feel good about it. I can check both boxes, and it's kind of cool and different to check 2 workout boxes before 7:30 a.m. If you've never tried it, maybe try it. There's all kinds of different ways that working out can be fun, and it's like, man, I'm ahead of the game. I got my silence, I got my compass. I'm well on the way to my water. Pretty cool. We're not even at the crack of 8 a.m. yet. I share these thoughts with you so you can start to understand there there can be guidelines, there can be rules, you can stick fast to them, you can flex and flow with them. The whole thing is, are you becoming? Are you becoming the woman that's consistent? Are you becoming the woman that keeps her word and earns justified self respect? Do you feel aligned? Do you feel like you're doing right by yourself? If that's the case, celebrate. Yay. There's no problem. We check the boxes. We go on throughout the day ahead of the game. And so that's my perspective on the day. You can develop your own. I would encourage you to share perspectives on this and just feel happy, feel successful, feel like I feel good and strong. I got a solid workout and then a really nice recovery immediately following. I feel so good about it. I want you to feel so good about your workouts too. All right. Let me know how it's going. So there I am, 6:30 in the morning, standing at the room of the hot yoga studio, and no instructor. No instructor inside. There's like 8 of us hanging out. Like, are we having a class this morning? I'm not in the habit lately of being a 5 a.m.er or 6 a.m.er. And so I was like, well, hey, seems like we should have an instructor show up if we all dragged ourselves out of bed and before it's light in the morning. And so what do you do when even you had good intentions, you had good plans, you showed up and something unexpected happens that tries to derail you from your good workout plan? What did I do? I looked at the resources that I had and I'm like, how do I make a win out of this? This is the time that I dedicated to get this workout and I'm going to do it. And so we were able to get the gym to unlock the studio for us. And because I'm an instructor with this gym, I said, hey, I don't teach yoga flow. I'm working on my flexibility and my yoga and everything, but I'm not an instructor for that format. But because I was an instructor with the gym, they allowed us to open the room. I turned on the hot infrared overhead lights, and a handful of people decided to stay just to do an independent stretch. And it was actually a really lovely experience. It's very different than anything I've ever done in that setting. And I made the best of it, and I was able to receive a cool gift that I don't usually get. Semi-private studio time. I was able to do an independent stretch session under the red light that was self-directed. I was able to just do exactly the stretches that I wanted, that my body was asking for. And I was able to achieve 25 minutes plus and just really enjoy some quiet and solitude. And one by one, the people that had decided to stretch eventually left the studio. And I just was able to have the space to myself, just a peace and calm space to myself to guide my body through these recovery stretches, through just using the full potential of my current state of my muscles and just enjoy a little spot of time. And it ended up, instead of derailing me, it ended up being a really wonderful little surprise. I don't usually get the studio alone, but just the way it worked this morning, I got to do my own independent stretch.
here right inside the infrared yoga studio. So you never know what small little gifts will come your way when you just put yourself in alignment.
And so in the end, this 6:30 a.m., what could have been a disappointment turned into an unexpected pleasant surprise. And many things in life can feel that way. This is not what I planned. But look around, look at your resources. How is it okay? Or how might it even be better than what you had planned? God, universe has so many great plans in store for us. We don't even know what we're capable of. And so even if we imagine the very best thing that we could possibly think of, God's probably got a better idea for you specifically. And so be open to that and receive those gifts as they come to you. Don't dismiss them just because they're not what you might have planned. Hello, friend. I'm hungry. It's time for a snack. And so I'm going to show you my snack. This is a super easy go-to whole fat yogurt. This is actually a fermented version. So it has a little tang to it, a little almost sourness. Think sour cream.
Good for gut health.
This is a keto-friendly granola that is sweetened with dates and coconut sugar. And then berries, especially blueberries, are good, low glycemic, less sugar. I know that a half a cup of blueberries is about 10 carbs, and 2 of those are fiber. So yay for fiber and hydration. Those things will help us feel full. And so I'm going to make myself a little healthy parfait that lines me up with my goals. And actually, it doesn't make me sad. You're always looking for things that you love on this program or in life in general. And a whole fat yogurt is super satisfying. And then a little crunch and a little juicy burst of sweet. This is probably going to be one of your new favorites. If you have a variation, I would love to hear from you what that is. So super easy. I am measuring just because I don't want to guesstimate wrong. I want to know what my carbs are at the end of this day. I'm very sure that a half a cup is going to be plenty of yogurt. I like the blueberries on the top. They're pretty, so I'm going to do the granola next. Look at that. There's a number of good granolas that just make you happy to eat them. So I'm going to do it right. I'm going to do a nice little level scoop. And look, you can just put it all nice and pretty on top. It looks like a chocolatey dessert, right? Okay, let's count as we go. I have got serving size is 3/4 of a cup that they put for this yogurt. So I put in a half a cup. That's plenty for me, I think. So if 3/4 of a cup has 5 carbs, zero fiber for yogurt. I'm just going to say half a cup. I'm going to call it 4 carbs. That's probably a little more than I need to say, but that'll do the job. 4 carbs there. I did 1/3 of a cup is the serving for this here granola. That would be 9 carbs minus 4 fibers. So that's 5 net carbs. So 4 net carbs, 5 net carbs, and my blueberries, a half a cup. So not 1, but 2, I think a quarter cup are going to be 8 carbs remaining. So 5 plus 4 is 9 plus 8 is 17 carbs. And this is going to take me a while to chew this up and eat it. Give me a second. I'm going to wash these blueberries. Really, I probably don't need a half a cup of blueberries. I probably would actually be fine with a quarter cup, but I already counted it. I'm not worried about the carbs, and these are so juicy and good and full of fiber. Look at that. Who doesn't want to eat that? I know you want to eat that. Look at that creamy goodness. You can stir it up or you can act all grown up and fancy about it. But look at this. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to take this bite. So I'll let you know how it is, right? You can vicariously taste through me. First, it's a little tang, that little tartness of the yogurt. Then the crunch with a hint of like chocolatiness, and it's got a crunch of some coconut and nuts. And then at the end, it's the sweet, the blueberry, like the plump of the blueberry. It's so satisfying. Seek and find a new version of treat that you look forward to that feels satisfying. The more you chew it, okay, let's talk about chewing. So in the midst of my decades of nutritional research, just as a hobby and because it fascinates me how the body works in conjunction with food and timing and exercise and all those things, I came across research that totally makes sense about how much you chew your food. So the idea is this was some sort of a challenge or a groundbreaking concept that you would chew each bite 50 times. Each bite 50 times. I know that sounds ridiculous, but the argument was you want to pre-digest in your mouth and prep for most efficient digestion the food, and the saliva that releases as food spends long enough time in the mouth helps the rest of digestion. It helps with absorption. It also slows you down with your eating, because if you have to wait till you're like chewing, if you have to wait and counting 50, it slows your pace down so you're not just shoveling food in your mouth, especially when you're hungry. And also, it allows your satiation mechanisms, your fullness measuring stick inside of your brain to catch up, so that maybe by the time that you've swallowed a more appropriate, smaller amount of food, then you'll actually feel satisfied. And the messages can get from what you eat to your stomach, into your blood sugar, to your brain, and those signals that you're full or satisfied, and those signals to stop eating happen sooner. So all of this made sense to me, especially when they talk about whole foods. Think of eating a sweet potato. It takes longer to chew that up, or a whole apple is probably a better example. To bite an apple and chew it, and you've got to mix saliva with the inside of the apple and then also the very fibrous peel of the apple. It takes a while to chew that up versus if you just had a pouch of applesauce and you're slurping it down and it's going right straight through your mouth. Not much time to mix with saliva. It's just going straight into digestion, and it's already broken down so finely that those sugars are going straight into the blood, and you're going to need a little bit more time and attention. It's going to call on your pancreas and insulin response and all these things, versus if you just took more time to mix more saliva with it, it would slow you down from how much you're eating. All of this makes sense, and it harkens back to eating whole foods naturally is slowed down. If you think about eating a piece of bologna versus eating a steak, you have to really chew that steak. You have to pre-digest it in your own mouth with your own saliva, right? You can't just gulp down steak, or if you do, like, yikes. I don't think that sounds very comfortable. So the point is, it makes sense from a traditional whole food standpoint that in a normal situation, we would chew our food completely, mix it with saliva, and then it would go on to normal digestion and normal insulin response. And so all these things make sense to me. So during the course of reading this book and having this idea, I began practicing. And at first, it felt like such slow motion. I would literally count 50 chews, chew, 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 for each bite. And I did this for a number of days, maybe a week, not a super long time, but enough to realize, wow, it really slows your pace down. You're going to breathe a little bit more. You're going to visit a little bit more with the people you're eating with. And so lots of good benefits there. And one of the main ones is the slowing down of the pace and increasing how quickly you feel like you're done eating and you can stop. And then all of those calories you save because you don't feel deprived because you're ready to be done. So I love that aspect of it. It just makes sense. It saves you calories without feeling like you're giving up anything. And a side benefit, after thinking about that concept and practicing it, I notice that in general, now I'm a slow eater. I feel like I'm always the last one done in social situations at dinner. I feel like usually everybody else finishes before me, and that's okay, but I'm happy with the fact that little habit kind of stuck with me, that little practice stuck with me, and it benefits me. I feel good. I have good digestion. I don't have a lot of digestive issues, and I'm very blessed to have a strong and healthy body. But I think also some of the habits contribute to health, and a lot of small things add up. So try it. Let me know. Does chewing your food 50 times make sense? Is it absurd and unreasonable? Or does it resonate once you try it out? In the meantime, I'm gonna have another bite. So good.
This is literally behind the scenes pre-opening of FitCon. All kinds of athletic events gonna start to be happening. It's like the Disneyland of fitness for Salt Lake City.
You gotta try it. You can step on number one.